Howdy, folks. It is Tuesday, and I am Doctor McFarland. We're going to have some fun talking about some things, potential pedalboard build options for anybody out there that wants to build a pedalboard and or maybe a hybrid board of like some digital things and some analog drives or vice versa, whatever you want. We will also be taking some questions today, which will be fun. So... what is this backing track here? I have a backing track, video intro, website. I used to have something like a jam I could play in the background, but I'm not sure where that is. Anyway, I did figure out how to add some music to the intro. That was, turned out nice. That's what we edited last week. So if you want to go check out the live stream from last week, you can see how all that worked out. And I did watch a few more Ecamm live videos today. Just trying to make the stream a little cooler than it usually is. I don't know if it's cool or not, but it is what it is. So, but y'all come on in and we'll have some fun and we'll talk about some things. So let me go download this picture real fast that I shared on a few places here. We could also look at Pedalboard Planner, which is a website I've used a lot, and it's designed by Pedal Train. So if you want to buy Pedal Train boards, this is a way to literally go pick and choose any pedal that you may or may not want to add to the board and just start moving things around to see how it actually fits and if it's going to work or not, that kind of thing. So I see a thumbs up, but I don't see someone watching, so that's kind of weird. Anyway, if you're new here, go ahead and let me know your name or where you're from, and if you're a musician of any kind, and if not, it's perfectly fine. I can still take questions on some other things if you want. And, we'll have some fun with that. So I got Pedalboard Planner called up here. Let me go to Facebook real fast. So I made the post on Facebook. Where am I at here? We'll go here. Okay, there's my photo. Let me right click. I'm going to save this image. I've been waking up really tired here lately. I don't know what it is. I haven't been going to bed like super late, but man, I've been tired. What is this? This is let's just call it a PT pedal board. Okay. So this is downloaded. We'll drag this to the desktop here. All right, what are we going to be showing? Let's show this. So let me pull this over and go down here. And that should be working. Current application. Yeah, it should be current application. Sorry, I'm having a little technical difficulty here. Showing what I want to show. Let me click on source. Let me go to blank. And let's add. That's not what I want. Source blank. There I am. So that's good. Hello. And then I do want to show something on my screen here. Current application. If I show the entire screen, it's not going to work. I'm sorry, this is weird. All right, it is not showing. Let's try this. Let's try the actual web browser. and see if that does anything. And that's not working either. Let's go to split gear. See if I can add. I want to add this web page. Yeah, Firefox. And it's just not showing up. All right, well, that is not good. Yeah, split gear, hidden doll. Now it does that kind of weird thing. Anyway, y'all asked me some questions while I figured this out, and then we can talk about some pedalboard stuff. I see no reason why this would not be working, but I'm just not sure. Show entire screen, current application, and then boom. We got nothing. All right, well, I tried. Go here. All right, so for example, here's some pedals that we could be adding. So the best thing to do is always go with what you have first. Just don't, go out and buy a bunch of stuff. Like, what do you currently have that you could put on a board and then kind of work from there? So this is a pedal I've actually been trying to sell for like a year or maybe longer. I'm not even sure, but this is a dual overdrive deluxe from Wampler. And it's kind of like a King of Tone kind of deal. So you got like pretty much two identical sides. And they have on the side here, there's some dip switches. So there's like a voice switch with 3 different voicings, which is kind of neat. And then you have 3 different gain levels. And that's just for that one side. And then you can do the same thing over here. Gain levels, voicings. It does have MIDI on the side. So you can run a MIDI cable to it. It's like an 1/8 inch to MIDI adapter that usually comes with these kind of pedals. And yeah, essentially make each side of the pedal, you can be like low gain on one side, high gain on the other, vice versa, medium gain, low gain, high gain, whatever you want. And there is a 2-in-1 or 1-to-2 or 2-to-1 order toggle switch here on the very top, if you can see that. So anyway, it's a very versatile pedal, and it has independent ins and outs. Now, what you can do with this kind of pedal is this, which is kind of neat. You can go in right here, and then go out to an actual another pedal. It can be one of these. It can be a flange or a phase or anything that you want, really. So like out to the flange, back in from the flange to the return here, and then out to the next pedal and or amp and or modeler or whatever you got set up. So anything that has separate ins and outs like that, you can technically use the middle two as an insert point, and it just works. So that's kind of neat. I think it's neat. So yeah, and it has a very nice switches on there and stuff like that. So anyway, there's that kind of pedal. We do have the Mega Distortion, which is cool. My friend Dan actually got this for me years ago for like a Christmas gift or something. So yeah, if you're, instead of buying like a rat pedal, which I could totally do, I already have a distortion pedal that has level, tone bottom. Yeah, there's tone on top, and then how much low end you can have on there, which is neat. Then you have the distortion level, then you have a gain boost. So yeah, not all Boss pedals are exactly the same, but this is a good option there. This is a pedal it actually has not worked in years, and I really don't know why. I had the Aria version of this. This is a Pigtronics kind of rectangular. You put it on its side like that, and you step on it that way. So it's a slightly different shape because it'd be weird to have it next to like this one, and then like the foot switch is just in a weird spot. So, but when you have all these pedals in a switcher, which I think I have back here. Let me find it real fast. Let me find it. Nope. 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 That's not it either. Okay, I actually don't know where it is, but it is the Gig Rig Quartermaster, and it has 6 loops on it, and you can plug in pedals across all 6 loops, and then you can turn those on and off. But it also has a thing to where you can actually toggle between any 2 loops. So if you have loop 3 on, then you go to loop 5 and turn that on, it automatically turns off loop 3 or any other combination. So if you're on 2 and you go to 4, it's going to turn off 2. If you're on 1 and you go to 6, it's going to turn on 1 and turn on 6, stuff like that. So anyway, it's really, really neat. And once again, this is not going to show up on the screen. This is not going to show up. Let me try this one more time. How can I get this to work? Because it's just not working. And I don't know why. Crop split screen. It's not what I want. I want one of these going on here. Wow, I just don't know why this is not working. Ecamm is being weird, man. Here's my settings. Audio stream, screen sharing. Include desktop picture, include desktop icons. Interesting. Show everything when sharing the entire screen. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why this is not working. And I'm very baffled by this. All right, let me go back to me here. I have no idea. Don't know why it's not working. But anyway, I have the Toastmaster Pro. I'm having issues today. I've got the Toastmaster Pro in the rack, and I was trying to show the Pro Control here on the screen, but it's literally just not working. And I don't know why. Wow. I am just really baffled by this. Anyway, I really need y'all to ask me some questions because clearly my my vision for today's stream is not working out. All right, so Pedalboard. So if you follow Steve Sterlacci on YouTube or Facebook, he came out with a pretty similar video recently on what is the best modeler, and this can also extend into what's the best pedalboard setup or the best amplifier or whatever else. And the crux of the theme or topic, or the punchline, if you will, is essentially, the best thing for you is the thing that you probably have. Okay. And that just basically means if you already have a tube amp and you have some nice pedals on a pedal board, then that's a great setup. Now, if you want a different workflow, i.e., the flow of carrying heavy amps to your car and then unloading those amps from a car to the venue, maybe you have to go up multiple flights of stairs to get to a certain venue, or you got to walk half a mile because you couldn't park directly by the venue. Just all kinds of excuses, weird stuff that could go on. Maybe you don't want a heavy amp. So now you're looking more into the Mahler kind of range of products. And are you a rhythm player that literally uses one sound like the whole night? Okay. Excuse me. So in that case, you can get a very basic Mahler that has a great Fender Deluxe sound, or maybe a Marshall JMP or something like that. You can just leave it on that one setting all night long and just play rhythm to your little heart's content, because your amp was already a Fender Deluxe and you're not switching out amps every song, because that would be dumb. You'd have to have like 10 amps behind you and then go plug into a different one for each song. You're not doing that. You're literally sticking with one amp, one sound, and then that's your sound for the whole night. Now, if you're a lead guitar player, then maybe you want a little bit more flexibility. Maybe you want that Fender Deluxe, but now you add in an overdrive pedal, or you add in a delay and a reverb and a swell and a shimmer and a volume pedal and a wah pedal and, whatever else. So that at that point, it's like, okay, I don't want to carry an amp and a real pedal board. So how can a full-on digital Mahler replace all those things for me and still be able to, access different combinations of effects by hitting one switch? And, literally everything from Headrush to Helix to Tonemaster Pro to Quad Cortex to Kemper to Fractal. I'm sure I'm forgetting other things. Helix, I think I said Helix. They all literally do the same thing, and they all sound great. So it really does come down to, okay, I don't want to carry these heavy amps, so I'm just going to carry now this pedal board. And let me grab one of those real fast. Let me grab the Helix real fast. All right, this thing right here. This is a backpack that literally houses your amp, your pedals, everything in one back. And I'll show you what this has. What is in this little pocket? Ooh, we got some slides in there. Cool. Okay. Now, actually, I really love this backpack, by the way. It's really nice. So, we pull this out, and you're like, wow, Nathan, that's rather large. Well, it's pretty big, but once you start adding, pedals on here, you got 10 pedals on a pedal board with some kind of volume or wall pedal, like over here. This thing is cold. Once you add all those pedals, it's going to be about this size anyway. And you can still have, look at all this stuff. We have four loops on the back. Okay, we have stereo XLR outs. We have stereo 1/4 inch outs. We have a headphone. We have a Variax Ethernet cable, which connects to like a Variax guitar. And we have full-on MIDI. We have digital SPDIF and AES EBU outputs. I don't really use the AES stuff a whole lot. You got the 4 loops. You got a microphone input. So if you're a singer and you want to sing through this thing, you can totally do that. You got an auxiliary input, which can mean I want to plug in a keyboard. I want to plug in something else, whatever. You got the headphones, you got that, you got the guitar in, you got essentially 3 expression slots. You can add in additional expression pedals and a control voltage output for like modular synths and whatever else. So this one thing that brand new is like, $1,400-$1,500. It's actually turning out to be a really good deal, because now you literally have everything in one unit, and it's way lighter than a typical tube amp and a bunch of pedals, and this just does everything that you need. So this is one solution that you could get for for around $1,300, $1,400, $1,500. Let me set this right here without it falling off. Okay. Now, on the flip side of that, there's things like the Headrush MX5 or the new Flex Prime that is literally a lot smaller, and it still has all the amps and all the effects, but it only has 3 switches, which is very similar to the Line 6 HX Stomp, which only has 3 switches. Now, you can technically on the Stomp and the XL, I think, you can add an external switch that gives you more foot switches to assign things to and turn things on and off and switch between banks and snapshots and presets and whatever else. So stuff like that. I mean, you can literally get like a very, very small unit that has all the amps and effects in there, but you might be limited on the number of foot switches and how to actually access all those sounds. And then you can combine those small digital options with something like this, either in the loop or just going from your guitar to the pedal, then from the pedal to the modular, and then out to the front of house or into the input of another amp. Maybe they have a house amp there that you can just plug into, whether that's a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe or actual Fender Deluxe, or it could be some kind of PV thing. If you're, I don't know, I don't want to assume anything about PVs, but PVs are good amps. They're really good. So yeah, I mean, the whole digital versus analog thing, whatever. And I really wish, I just don't understand why this picture is not showing up, or my screen is not showing up. I'm really baffled by this. I really want it to show up. Ecamm Live. Firefox. Yeah, show me Firefox. Come on. Come on. Wow. I just do not know why that is not working. There is an update for this thing, so maybe after the stream I'll do an update. I'm just so baffled right now. So baffled. So let me know in the comments what kind of setup you have, and we can talk about it. We can about it. All right, as you can see behind me, I still have the Zildjian Alchemy kit. It's a really nice kit, and I've actually been dialing in the sounds for it. And just for fun, because I want to, I'm going to go back there and play a little bit. And maybe by then I can have some questions to interact with. So I'll be right back. So I am extremely pleased about that drum kit. It just feels great, sounds great. Everything about it is a real drum kit, except it has the additional triggers on the bottom of the L80 low volume cymbals and inside the 7-ply shells underneath a mesh head, which you could take off the mesh head and put on a regular drum head because it already has resonant heads underneath all the toms and, you know, obviously on the kick drum right here. So it's just really nice. It is really nice. You see my big stack of boxes back there. I have a valve train from Zounds that I am going to review this month. And it's a very cool tube, essentially tube power amp and speaker cab, but in like a combo, format. And it sounds really good. But I'm going to be comparing it to the Fender FR12, and also you can kind of see, can't really see, but there's like on top of or underneath the Blue Guitar Amp 1 is the Nano cab. It's just a small, probably the smallest 12-inch speaker cab you can get. So I'm going to be comparing it to that and kind of see is like, all right, do tubes really matter? Can solid state power amps work just fine? And we'll make a decision on what is preferred in that realm, because it does. I mean, those things are pretty expensive, so it really comes down to do you have the money to put into some kind of like tube combo amp, pedalboard, amplifier kind of deal? Or once again, if you already have a cab and you just need like a power amp to go with it, then the output of any tube head or solid state head would work just fine. So that's what that is. We can talk about this real fast. This is a Sonic Sonic Bar Twiggy Blues combined stage effects. So what this is a compressor, a blues, essentially a blues. It's really just a blues overdrive. It has volume, tone, and gain, very, very similar to a Boss blues driver, something like that. It does have a delay called slapback on there, and then it has the air, which is it reverb? I think it's the reverb. Then you can have it with the cab sim on or off. So I think along with this blues thing is also possibly a maybe like a clean amp type sound in there. I can't really remember. It does have soft switches. You don't hear the click when you turn those on, which is kind of neat. But it does just have a regular in and out. There's no effects loop in there anywhere, so you can't add in other pedals unless you want to add it in before or after this device. But this is honestly a pretty decent option for not a lot of money. It just takes a regular 9-volt adapter. It is made in China, but that doesn't matter. And so if your amp goes down and your whole pedal board gets beer spilled all over it, as long as you have one of these in your gig bag somewhere, then this is not digital. At least I don't think it's not digital at all. It's just an all analog, 4 different effects, and the compressor can technically be used as like a boost if you want. So you can have the compression be down but the volume be all the way up. Then when you kick that in, you get a nice volume boost that can then drive the blues driver circuit a little bit more. And then you can either have a slapback or maybe like a longer delay type sound if you want. And then we have the air / reverb at the end. So these are very cool little pedals, and there's lots of other options out there. What's the name of that company? Richie Cousins does a lot with them. It's like a solid state company. They make lots of pedals. They make amps. I don't remember. I don't remember what they are. Let me look it up real fast. I'm gonna kick myself when I see what the answer is here. Richie Kotzen. Richie Kotzen. Let me look at this pedal. Tech 21. That's what they are. Tech 21. And these are slightly more expensive. They're like $350 to $400. But with that, this one gives you a boost at OMG, which is, I guess you can turn it into a fuzz as well if you want. And with the boost, it can be either pre or post. So that's kind of neat. Then it does have a reverb and a tuner on there. It has a delay actually after the reverb, which is interesting. It's got a power, it's got an input output, and this one does have the effects loop, send and return, but also on the side is an actual XLR output. So this one has a little bit more flexibility than this one, and I'm sorry that you're not seeing this right now. It's just kind of dumb. Let me put a link down here. Yes, Josh says Tech 21. You know what it is, man. You know what it is. So there's a Sweetwater link. So yeah, Tech 21 makes some cool stuff, and you know, they work really good. What's this other one? What's another one that's really neat? I'm drawing a blank at the moment. I am drawing a blank, man. I'm trying to think. They are called, the pedal's called Atlantic. At least one of them. Once again, I'm going to see this thing. I'm going to be like, duh, this is what it is. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. Not seeing it. Atlantic. Delay. The new X. Sorry, the new X stuff. So the new X, let me look that up. This is another pretty decent option here for going direct. It is called the Trident Amp Modeling and Multi-Effects Pedal. Those are $449. And once again, I'm going to have to just send you a link because for some reason it's not allowing me to show my screen. But these are not affiliate links, by the way. They're just straight off the Sweetwater website. But I do and will have affiliate links down below in this video, and you can also find all of them in my other videos. So if you're gonna get on Amazon tonight and order some toilet paper, because I know everyone orders toilet paper off of Amazon, right? Click on my Amazon link first, and then order whatever you're gonna buy anyway. And then that gives me a small commission on that. Same goes for Sweetwater and for Zounds.com. So if you're shopping around for guitar related stuff and you think you might be buying something within the next 30 to 45 days, then that's just kind of how affiliate links work. If you click on it, the cookie stays around for like 45 days or something. So even if you click on it now and then you decide to buy something like in 2 weeks, I still get that commission from that. So it's just a small way to help support the channel if you were going to buy something anyway. So I don't want you to go into debt or buy stuff that you don't have money for just to be spending it. Just don't do that. Don't be like me. Don't be like the idiot that I am. Just putting stuff on credit cards. But Anyway, it is what it is. That's why I need someone to buy this pedal because I don't want it anymore, and I could use that money for other things. Let's see here. The NuX Trident amp. There's another one. The Mooer. There's also a Mooer thing. Okay. That's not going to have that. Doubt Zounds has Mooer. But it's another box very similar to the NuX. Let's just go to Amazon. So I know they're on Amazon. Mooer multi-effects pedals. And we are looking at... so that thing looks very similar to like the Hotone options for $165. There is the Mooer G300. This has a built-in expression. And it also has, looks very similar to like the Boss GT1000 kind of deal. I mean, it's actually very, very similar. You got 4 control switches, and you got A, B, C, D of the different presets you can choose, and you got a bank up and down. And it looks like you have all the things already in the signal path. You just literally go turn them on and off for whatever. Wow, it's actually pretty cool. And this is why I really don't go back to actual pedals anymore. Because these multi-effects literally give you everything that you'd ever want. Like this one right here has the XLR outputs. It has the 1/4 inch outputs. It has a send and return. Actually a stereo send and a stereo return. Auxiliary in, expression pedal, guitar input, which can be set to guitar or line. It does have the MIDI in there. USB, so I'm sure you can use it as an interface. And let me click on this and I'll share it real fast so you can see what those are doing. So yeah, the GE300 is kind of neat. Uh-oh. Patrick Gold is saying hi. What's up, Bubba? Bubba, what kind of music do you like to listen to? That's probably a good question. And or do you already play some kind of musical instrument? And if you don't play one yet, then what kind of musical instrument would you want to try to learn? As you can see, I'm a multi-instrumentalist. I got drums right back here. I have a bass guitar. This is a big Yamaha 5-string, which is, I like the color. It stuff like that. I have a mandolin, I have a banjo, I have a ukulele, I have a dobro, which I actually do Fiverr gigs playing dobro on songs. So multiple instruments here in the studio. I've been playing music for roughly probably 38 years. I think I started taking piano lessons in like 3rd or 4th grade, which means, yeah, about 38 years or so, because I'm 44 now. And so 3rd grade. Piano, started playing trombone when I was in 7th grade, started playing guitar when I was in 9th grade, got a scholarship to play jazz in a community college after high school, and then I came here to Middle Tennessee to go to MTSU and studied classical guitar. And then after college, I went and worked for Gibson Guitars for about 10 years. Because my degree was like music industry. So, but all the while I was always like recording and writing music, and didn't really start making videos until like 2012, I think. But even then I wasn't all that serious. I think I started getting serious about YouTube or just making videos in general, some kind of content for online consumption around like 2017, 2018, something like that. And here I am in 2025, still cranking out the sweet videos, man. Yeah, the drums are great. I love playing drums. And actually my brother was the drummer in the family. And I still have his red Pearl Export down in the garage. He actually lives here in Murfreesboro as well. And he still plays, and he's actually going to come over sometime this week. And he wants to do like some drone metal electronic type music. And we're just going to lay down the drums and then lay down some bass and guitars and whatever keyboardy type drone stuff he wants to do. And it's going to be fun. So it's going to be fun. I usually have my Canon 90D over here on, but it's not turning on at the moment. So I've been using, last week and this week, I'm using just my Logitech webcam. And I think if you feed it enough light, it actually looks pretty decent. So there's that. For all you people that are wanting to do like YouTube type stuff, you don't need an expensive camera at all. This is probably like $150 webcam. I have a Mac Mini down here, an M1 Mac Mini. You just need some kind of basic audio interface, preferably something that has a loopback channel, so you can loop back audio from your computer, whether that's from YouTube or just playing background music or something. And it doesn't have to be a lot of channels, anywhere from like 2 to 4 channels for basic recording and live streaming. YouTube type stuff is more than sufficient. And some kind of microphone, whether that's actually a USB mic is perfectly fine as well. Or this is an XLR condenser mic that plugs into the audio interface, which in turn connects to either your StreamYard or your Ecamm Live or OBS or Streamlabs OBS or Melon, I think is another one that I tried some time ago. But anyway, it's kind of neat. Patrick has the headrest core and it sounded pretty good live. The only issue I've had is the lack of foot switches. Yes, it does have only 5 foot switches, so I really wish they would open the MIDI capabilities to add more scenes. Yes, I understand what you're talking about. There is the bank A and B, so you can bank up and have a whole new set of 5 foot switches. And if you have scenes on all those, you can technically have 20 scenes across 5 switches, because you got 10 scenes on the first bank, because when you can set them up to have like the first hit is one scene, then the second hit of the same foot switch is another scene, and then so therefore you got 10 scenes on the first bank and then 10 scenes on the next bank up, which is really neat. So that is just it's a different way of working, and you do have to plan out your sounds ahead of time, as far as how you set up those scenes and, what you need for each scene. And to keep track of that, I usually just say, I like to use like blue and red for my colors when I'm switching between, scene 1 and scene 2 on the same switch. So that way I can kind of keep track of which color I'm on and I know which scene it is. And then just kind of name it generically. Like I can have like CL for clean and then dash TR for trim. So I know if I hit the foot switch once, it's my clean sound. Then if I hit it again, I'm turning on my tremolo. Then go to the next foot switch, and that could be rhythm / DLY for delay. And now I hit the second foot switch, there's my rhythm sound. hit it again, now it turns on the delay for the same rhythm sound. Just stuff like that. So you just have to work through that workflow in your own time and in your own head. Oh, cracking my bones. And you can get things set up pretty quick, I think. But do you sing as well, or do you just play guitar? What do you do? Andrew Collins, the Helix connoisseur. Here's my Helix, which I actually haven't played in a few weeks, just because I have the Toemaster Pro over here in a rack. But I do still like the Helix a lot. And the more I look at other pedals, I'm like, well, for what I paid for this thing, it literally just does everything you want. It has all the amps. It has multiple foot switches. You can have 8 snapshots. You can have 10 stomps within a preset, which is really cool. And you can actually switch between presets, snapshots, and stomps pretty quickly. So you basically have different layers of, like, you go to presets first, then from within that preset you can get to a snapshot or multiple snapshots, and then you can go into just the stomp view and see all your stomps, which is great. And I think also you can actually, based on maybe a firmware update from last year sometime, they gave you the ability to assign either a snapshot or a stomp to any of the switches. So you could be in stomp view and have snapshots across the bottom and then stomps across the top, instead of only being in snapshot view. Or at least that's how it works on the HX Effects and the stomp. But you should be able to do the same thing on the full-size Helix as well. So, am I going to sell it? No, I keep saying I'm going to sell it, but I think the Helix is just too good not to keep, if that makes any sense. I honestly can't do better than the Helix as far as like an all-in-one solution that gives you all the foot switches and the treadle and ease of use and the capacitance switches. That makes it easy to, do all the stuff. And it's just, you can't beat it, I don't think, for the money anyway, especially for the money. And I'm not a singer, so I'm not worried about the mic input. I don't use it for that. You do kind of have to have a loop like already baked into the preset, I think. I have to turn it on and see. Which I don't have a IEC cable right here just this second. Because I do like looping things just for like casual practice if I need to. But yeah, I think the Helix is just really good. And I'm always tempted to get an FM3 from Fractal. But once again, it only has 3 foot switches. And I know you can always add more. But then by that time, you're well into the, $1,000, $1,200 range, maybe $1,300 range. And I already have a Helix right here that I'm technically still paying it off because I bought it through Sweetwater like the end of 2023. That's when it was. So yeah, and it's like $36 or 36 months financing or something. So I'm still technically paying it off, and it's not very much a month. It's like $30 a month or something. So it is what it is. But yeah, the Helix is really, really good. Let's see. Yeah, this is an issue if you're a singer because you literally just don't have enough foot switches. But I sing, but I haven't tried a lot of the vocal effects. A lot of times I don't feel like I have time to look down and switch mid-song. That's why I wish Headrush would switch. I know the Headrush Core has a microphone input is kind of the point. But if I was a singer just showing up to bars and clubs, singing in a band, I would just let the sound guy deal with my voice and not even worry about doing it on the pedal. Unless you're really looking for a specific sound that the sound guy is just not going to give you. Like if you want to add, delay on your voice or in a certain part of the song, then, yeah, sure, you can set that up. But you're really going to have to, I would think, you just have to utilize the scenes across the 5-foot switches. And if you have to stay in the same preset, or the same rig, because Headrush calls them rigs and not presets, which is really just a combination of effects on and off, all in one rig or preset, right? I would just set it up to where the main part of your song has the scenes going across the 5 switches, or maybe even just 4, so you can always have like the tap tempo. And then you go to the next bank of switches, because you got that bank A-B switch that you just you can hold down and it switches up to the next one. And now you got either 4 or 5 switches that you can assign more things to, and you just have to figure out, based on the song, what you actually need for that song and how many things do you actually have to switch on and off. Because it could be one of those things where you might just need to play rhythm and you can utilize all those scenes only for vocal effects, if that's what you really want to do, and just leave everything else alone because you just need that Fender Deluxe sound, or maybe you might, just whatever you need. So it's kind of hard to know what people need on any given device because, everyone's different. Every show is different. Every song is different, and you just require different needs. So that makes sense, though. Are you going to buy more guitars with the prices going up? Sweetwater announced they will be going up on their prices. Not from Sweetwater. I basically just buy Kiesel guitars these days, even though I am in sell mode right now. I pretty much finalized the 5 main guitars I want to have. That's the Strat style, the Telecaster style. I have a PRS style guitar, and then I have like one more that is it still has humbuckers, but it just has a cool look to it. So it's really like the main 5 that I want. And then I have a few headless models that are 7-string multi-scale. And I know that sounds weird, but when you have the really low B string, it's kind of nice having that multi-scale, so you have the tension of the low B. That sounds really nice. Let me grab one real fast, if I can show you what I mean. All right, so Bubba, I know this is really goofy looking, but this is a real thing. So, multi-scale means that the frets are fanned. So somewhere in the middle here is like perfectly straight up and down, but as they start going this way, they start curving backwards, and when they go this way, they start curving upwards. Okay, so what that does is we have a low B string here. And I can, let me plug this in real fast. Yeah, I'm on the tuner. Move this cable out of the way. So that's a low D, like a D power chord, versus a D regular chord. And to me, this is totally natural to play this way. Let me go to my rhythm sound here. You know, stuff like that. I can go to like a clean trim sound. And then back to just my clean with no trim. I actually have the enchanter on in this one, which I need to turn off. And then save this. Let me go to this one. Turn off that one. Turn that off. Go to my lead. Turn that off as well. Yeah, so in this preset here on the Tonemaster Pro, I have the Fender Twin for all my clean stuff. I can kick in the tremolo. I can go to the Timmy. Which is just a overdrive pedal turned on top of the amp. Then I have a rhythm sound which changes to the EVH 5150. Which does not have reverb turned on. And then I have the same amp with a tube screamer and a delay. Yeah, and it sounds really good. So with the bass sound acting as number one, I technically just have 4 other scenes set up, and you know, just for sitting down and jamming or teaching, I can plug into this while I teach and just have a nice clean sound coming out of my studio monitors. Make sure that's still down, and it is. Yeah, so it's an interesting phenomenon on these headless guitars right here. You can see I have another one back there on the wall. That's a headed guitar. This is 7-string. Actually, I put that on reverb last night just because I'm trying to keep all my 7 strings to be headless, so they're nice and small, but they still have the extra string on the bottom. Then all my regular guitars are 6 strings. So let me grab a 6-string guitar real fast so you can see what that looks like. Bubba. Bubba. Ooh, Bubba. Bubba. Oh, Bubba. Whoa. Oh, Bubba. All right, so this is, let me move this camera out of the way here. So this is not a PRS, but it's very similar shape to a PRS. This is a CT6, a carved top 6 from Kiesel Guitars. So we have the traditional mahogany body and neck. And I know there's a little like weird knot thing there, but it's kind of neat. And then this is a autumn burst finish on the top of this guitar with a hip shot trim, 3-way toggle switch. You can push pull the pot right here, pull that up to split the coils or tap the coils, whatever they're doing. And then it is a 24 fret. They don't have the little birdies on the inlays, but you know, I'm not paying PRS prices for this kind of quality here. So I'm out of tune. I am out of tune, folks. And the Toemaster Pro has a nice big tuner, so it's easy to see what I'm doing. So Patrick, are you a solo artist and you're trying to sing and play at the same time, or do you actually sing with the band? Because I could see how that could be a different kind of workflow and setup for that. And I'm gonna go till about 5:20. I gotta get to the church tonight and teach my last session for the Sow ministry that I've been doing the last few weeks. Actually started at the beginning of March, and then we had last week off for spring break. Let me bring this down just a little bit. There we go. You kind of see what I'm playing now. Yeah, I really like these two amps. They're just a nice clean sound, and then I can kick in the Timmy for slightly more dirt. I got the wiggle stick, stuff like that. So yeah, I have not heard about prices or anything. Let me get back here. Okay. We play classic blues, rock. What amp and pedals should I use, you think? I like the Soldano, but the Marshalls are really versatile. Also, right now, I do a Fender for clean and a Marshall DSL. I'm assuming you're using those models in the headrush, or you're actually using physical amps. I'm not sure. I mean, classic rock, I mean, that can be anything from Marshall to Fender and anything in between. I mean, Soldanos are great, and the Soldano in the headrush has all the channels. So it's got your clean, your crunch, your rhythm, and your solo. What's it called? Expanded? EXP, whatever it is. I don't know, whatever it is. The Marshall JCM 800 is a really straightforward classic rock-ish amp. That worked just fine. It really does, man. It looks like a PRS, except for the headstock is different. I got a pointy headstock. I don't have the birdie inlays, but everything else is pretty awesome. 4-piece, and I have to leave for a church board meeting. You are a youth pastor. Well, there you go. Patrick, where are you located at? And if you don't have time to answer now, then you can just tell me later. A youth pastor playing in a rock band. Oh, snap. Yeah, I know you were asking about the fractal stuff last week, Andrew, and honestly, the Toemaster Pro it's where it's at, man. It's 2 turntables and a microphone. Get it? It's a little Beck. A little Beck reference there. Where it's at. And what's cool about this setup is I can go stereo XLR to the front of house and go 1/4 inch out stereo, bypassing the cab out to my quilter amps, one over here, then one over here right behind me. And one has a greenbackish kind of speaker and the other has like a Jensen kind of speaker in it. And when you play in the room with those amps just blaring, it feels and sounds great. So as good as it sounds right now, just going into the mixing board, which it does sound pretty decent. Going through the effects return or the power amp in, if your amplifier has those options, of a real amp, just sounds that much better. It's really, really good. All right. I'm going to bring the drive up on this pedal here. So that way I get a little bit more overdrive, like so. Let me save that. So I can go from my clean to my overdrive, and then to my rhythm, which I know I probably need to take out the lows a little bit, maybe raise the highs. And then just kind of balance the amps a little bit more. So let me try this. Yeah, so this amp here, it probably needs the amp level needs to come down just a little bit, like so. Yeah, so there you go. You just kind of balance the levels with the amp level based on the scene that you're in. So if you actually want a volume boost, you can get that. But otherwise, you just do whatever. So like on this one, the Enchanter's on. So let me turn that off. Save all these things. Keeping it clean at the gigs, man. Now that's cool. Williamsport, Indiana. Play live music and always wanted to put in some work. Nice. That's cool, man. Well, good luck at your gigs, and just, all you can do is have fun. And that's all you can do. All right, so I'm going to have to get off here and go teach some music tonight. I got to be there by 6, and it's 5:21. So very glad, happy to meet you, Patrick. Good to see you, Andrew. And then we got Josh Norman there as the first comment. So thanks to everyone for watching. I will try to experiment, see why my screen grabs are not showing up. It's kind of weird, but it is what it is. If you haven't subscribed already, please do that down below and click the bell for future video releases. I'm going to try to have one at least sometime between tomorrow and Friday, somewhere in there. Maybe tomorrow and Friday, who knows? And yeah, if you want to help support the channel, then check out the affiliate links down below before you purchase something through Amazon, Sweetwater, or Zounds. And then I do have courses and products on my website that are a one-time fee You get a lifetime access to all the updates I do for those products. And that's just a little way of saying, hey, thanks for sharing your time. And then therefore I exchange my knowledge for your watching, and we both win. So you guys have a great rest of your day. I will talk to you in the next video.